Hello and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel and 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Guys, today we're talking about choices, choosing what you gonna choose. So we have a really interesting show planned for today. If you are new, you can go to productivethroughjoy.com to see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. Really extraordinary series of great offerings there, so check that out. Allow me to say a few words about myself for those of you who are new. This is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher, author of the New York Times bestseller Raising Fences, author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, author of the Pulitzer Prize nominated Animating Black and Brown Liberation, a Theory of American Literatures, the board president of the great nonprofit here in LA, the World Stage in LA's Crenshaw District. My educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergrad, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. Guys, I'm an expert at being productive, all right? I don't say that to brag or boast. I say it because people are almost always just surprised to hear of that, let me clear my throat, of that level of productivity, given how crazy my own personal narrative is. I am the product of a young sister who was sexually assaulted at age 16, gave birth to me at 17, and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee, yet at the time no biological father, no adopted father. Listen, difficult times for the young MD, yet his crew. Modi famously said, "How you like me now?" Right? And if I can be this productive and be so through joy, I believe that many people can in their own way, of course, in their own lane. So thanks for being here and joining us. Again, we're talking about choice today. And so point one is that we encourage you to think about that you have a choice in so much of your life. And at times, for many of us, we feel like because of very serious systemic challenges, oppression, hegemony, that we don't have a choice, especially now. I think, someone said in this whole, as more and more in the last month, that white people primarily, have been saying, "Oh my God, there seems to be more racism today." And no, it's not more racism. We just have cell phones to document it more effectively. That's all it is. There's always been this level, and certainly much more than there is now. So, but in these types of times, it can be very discouraging. I mean, I've been struggling to keep my spirit up. There's so much, and I know these things are real because I know before these recent murders happened, of course, because of my background, I've seen a lot of this stuff and have long known about these things, obviously, and seen them firsthand and been through it. I mean, in terms of how police abuse, having police pull guns on me as a kid, I mean, all this craziness. But reliving it through these videos, it's been pretty devastating. It makes you sad. And so at times we feel like, dang, black people or other people who are feeling oppression, we just can't win. So we can feel like we don't really have the choice to overcome, right? At times. Although I think people being galvanized around George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery in particular, has given people a sense of being in the streets can make a difference, and it can. Because certainly it's been inspiring being out. But it's not just about that, it's about in other aspects of our life. So point one is you want to know that you have a choice, regardless of the difficulties, circumstances, oppression. Point two is that how do you do that? Listen, oppression, racism, those things are going to be with us. It's so embedded in the American culture because of the history of slavery that was never really dealt with, and how power and money are at stake oftentimes in these decisions. As Omni and Renat talk about how they construct race, that race is an understanding of basically peoples through the prism of conflict. Race is situated in conflict around resources and power. And so because of that really basic fact, we're going to always have racism around us. So what do you do then? Well, you want to prepare yourself best to deal with it in a daily way. So if you know the show, we talk a lot about rituals and prepping by having a daily, what we call a spiritual practice, meditating, other types of modalities. You want to do that as a preparation for the day that is going to come. Not that we look for bad things to happen, but we know that racism is not going to go away. You want to keep your head up, right? In that regard. So which goes right into point three. As you're prepared through a spiritual practice, you are able to take opportunities, make the most of opportunities, because a lot of times, when you've been through trauma, it makes you small. It makes you choose small. It's hard to dream big, choose big, take risk when you've been traumatized. And even if you haven't been traumatized, it's still hard to take a risk and go big, because it impacts your self-esteem. And to go big, you have to have a certain level of self-esteem. We're not talking about being arrogant. We're talking about being prepared, being excellent. And when your opportunity comes, you make the most of it. And equally important, when you make your opportunity, when you choose to make your opportunity, which you can absolutely do, you can choose to make opportunities by, well, reach out to us and we'll show you how. Thanks for being here. Boom goes the dynamite. We'll see you guys this afternoon at 4:45 p.m. Until then, let's talk about it and be about it. Deuces, I'm out.